anticipate seeing out of this whole team?
That we get their best, that we get their A game. You know, they've gone through whatever they've gone through, and they're really great players on that team. You start looking at Rondo and Wade, and you start looking at Jimmy Butler and Mirotic and Lopez and Taj Gibson. I mean, where do you stop? Like, you listen to those names, and you anticipate you're going to get their A game. And if you do, you're going to get a hell of a game. That's a really good team with veteran players. And so that's my expectation of what we're going to see tonight.
Size-wise along the front line, does that create anything as far as
It just creates the reality that you're dealing with NBA men. That is a physical team. That is a veteran team. That's a team that has played late in playoffs. You know, they lead the NBA in offensive rebounding. They're men. It's a bunch of men, veteran men. And, you know, there's no really other way to say that. Don't get fooled by some of the things that, you know, only recently have gone on with their team. That's a really good team as it relates to resumes and experiences and physicality and age. It's a physical team. It's just what we'd all expect. You know, we're going to have to do a lot of work early. They are a huge post-up team. You know, they'll post D. Wade, they'll post Jimmy Butler, they'll post, you know, McDermott. They'll post their post players. They post, and they isolate a lot. And so, you know, that type of environment, you know, equals something in relation to defensive schemes. We've gone over it, but they really do have the ability to be punishing in that environment. We're going. Jaleel will still be, you know, like a game night decision. I thought he had a good workout. He's certainly getting there, but Jaleel will continue to be a game night decision. Having said that, we will start Nerlens, and if Jaleel is unable to go tonight, then you have Rashawn. You know, if Jaleel's, you know, really ready to go tonight, we'll have Jaleel. And so you're covered no matter what the medical advice and how Jaleel feels tonight.
You've always talked in the past about Nerlens, his production being kind of driven by his motor. How have you seen that lately, really, since he's kind of gotten into the flow of things since he's been back from the injury?
I mean, it's clear, like anybody who's been used to playing, he plays better when he plays longer. You know, when you have Joel come in and he's back to, like, you know, just those sort of 20 minutes left out of Joel's 28, and it's sort of delivered in sections of 5 minutes, 4, say, 5-minute clumps. You know, it's hard for players to get into a rhythm, and so I appreciate that. I understand that, but that's sort of the role when Joel is playing. I think in environments like tonight, as we saw, say, in Milwaukee or home Clippers, where Joel isn't playing and Nerlens is sort of the starting center, he can get more into a rhythm and playing, you know? And like anybody, that's more of an opportunity to find a symmetry to your game than it is otherwise.
How important is Robert's defense tonight, considering Jimmy Butler and who are you going to put him on? Is it Dwayne Wade or is it Jimmy Butler?
I mean, Robert's versatility lets us, you know, decide either like during the game. Obviously, we have a plan pregame, but I think just his versatility makes him important tonight. I think Dario Saric's ability to defend some threes, and with that size, especially when they have men at their 2 and the 3 and post guys like Jimmy and Dwayne Wade, he becomes important. That's the versatility that Saric provides us, where he can slide down to a 3. I think in games like tonight, when you really study the matchups, you know, you're probably going to consider that. But I think Robert's versatility clearly is proven over the course of this season.
I mean, tough for anyone to go up against Harden. Do you think that experience, the long way for Sarge, might help him? It seemed like some possessions he did about as much as he could, but then Harden's Harden.
I think so. I mean, you know, you go back and you watch the tape, and I mean, we, like all coaches, you're very anal, and you feel like every score is a problem. And anytime somebody scores a basket, we view it like that. You look at it like that. You know, how can you fix it? maybe it was better pressure on a passer, not just the receiver. And when you really study how James scored, sometimes you just got to shake his hand and admit he's a great player that made some great shots, and it took them all to beat us on our home court. My buyer's remorse is more fouling him and putting him to the line type of stuff where you could have clawed, 6 points back, and then maybe the result is different. But I think that experience certainly can't hurt him.